What would you do this afternoon if you weren't afraid of taking a risk and weren't afraid to fail? Think about that for a minute. Would you try a new sport? Would you get a new job? Maybe you'd ask out that special someone you've had your eye on. Perhaps you'd sign up to give your own TED Talk. Think about how empowering it would be to not be afraid to take a risk and not be afraid to fail. Now, imagine an entire generation of kids growing up with that mindset. They'd probably do some pretty amazing things in the future. Well, the key to that future is as simple as a lemonade stand or an online store or becoming an influencer. Kids who start businesses and learn how to think like entrepreneurs will be more comfortable taking risk, they'll be less afraid to fail, they'll be more outgoing, and they'll be better positioned to take advantage of an unknown future. That is why entrepreneurship should be the next big educational movement for kids. Right now, STEM and teaching kids to code is the big movement for kids, and it's wonderful, don't get me wrong. But the number of programs out there for STEM compared to the number of programs out there for entrepreneurship, compared to the number of kids interested in STEM and the number of kids interested in entrepreneurship, is totally misaligned. When our nation saw a need to teach our kids how to code, it was infused into our educational system and our after-school programs. Now's the time to do the same thing for entrepreneurship, which is far more accessible than coding and teaches so many other life skills as well. You know, there are studies out there that say 75% of the jobs that our kids will grow up to fill haven't yet been invented. So how do you train a kid for a job that doesn't exist yet? Well, you train them how to think, and you train them how to get comfortable with that unknown. I've spent my career helping entrepreneurs build businesses like IMAX and coupons.com. But after seeing my daughter sell Girl Scout cookies 10 years ago, I was inspired to become a youth entrepreneurship advocate. I've written 3 youth entrepreneurship books that were published by Macmillan. I've got 3 more coming from Penguin, starting with a guide for kids about how to start your own business, which comes out this September. I travel the country talking to kids at schools and libraries, inspiring them to start their first business. And I run a nonprofit focused on teaching entrepreneurship to girls in underserved communities. So I've seen firsthand the impact of entrepreneurship education on kids. We need a revolution as big as the STEM education movement to inspire kids to start their first business and to teach them how to think like entrepreneurs. Now, the goal of entrepreneurship education isn't that every kid should grow up to be an entrepreneur, not that that would necessarily be the worst thing. But the goal of entrepreneurship education is to teach kids how to think like entrepreneurs. Because kids that think like entrepreneurs, they're comfortable with risk and they're not afraid to fail, they will be better doctors and lawyers and teachers and parents and probably even better engineers. There are 3 key benefits to teaching entrepreneurship in schools. The first is kids with an entrepreneurial mindset that start businesses learn how to see opportunities instead of problems. They develop a curiosity of the world around them and then a creativity to turn that curiosity into business ideas. They also learn how to say yes when everyone else is saying no. This is Alina Morse. Alina, when she was 7 years old, went to the bank with her dad, and the teller offered her a lollipop. And her dad said, well, you know, Alina, lollipops aren't really very good for your teeth. And she said, well, why not? People love eating lollipops. Why can't there be a lollipop that's good for your teeth? She saw the problem, lollipops aren't good for your teeth, and turned it into an opportunity and created a line of good for your teeth lollipops and candies. Well, at age 14, Alina was the youngest person ever on the cover of Entrepreneur magazine, and you could buy her good for your teeth Zollipops and Zolly candies and Zappy Taffy at supermarkets all across the country. The second benefit to teaching kids about entrepreneurship is kids who run businesses develop resilience. They get comfortable with risk because it's risky to start a business. They develop grit to have that stick-to-itiveness to see a business through its highs and lows. They develop a growth mindset. They learn that their skills aren't fixed, but they can continue to learn new things. And most importantly, they learn that it's okay to fail. We need to destigmatize failure in this country. Failure is a step on the road to success. You know, entrepreneurs are comfortable taking risks and they're comfortable failing because they realize that even if they fail and this business fails, they're going to learn something that will help their next business succeed. So entrepreneurs don't say win some, lose some. They say win some, learn some. Because they know that they're going to learn something that's going to help them succeed. And look, failure is a step on the road to success. Everybody fails. Nikola Jokic, the star of the NBA champion Denver Nuggets, was asked, what does it take to be a champion? And he said, well, you need to be bad, and then you need to be good. And then when you're good, you need to fail. And then when you fail, you're going to figure it out. Harvard Business School professor Amy Edmondson said that if you're not failing, you're not journeying into new territory, you're not pushing yourself, you're not trying new things. The third benefit to teaching entrepreneurship to kids is kids that start business develop better communication skills, and they become more self-confident. You need to have persuasive communication skills to run a business. You have to come up with a marketing program to get people interested in your products, and a sales pitch to get people to buy your products. And it makes kids feel less shy. You know, we tell kids all the time, don't talk to strangers, which is actually great advice. But eventually, kids have to learn how to talk to strangers. They have to learn how to look people in the eye and have a conversation with an adult that they don't know. When we survey the girls that are in our after-school entrepreneurship programs, one of the number one things we hear back was, running a business made me feel less shy. It made me more self-confident. Maybe it gave me greater self-esteem. It made me more comfortable talking to people that we don't know. So there are clearly benefits to teaching entrepreneurship in school and having kids run businesses and learn to think like entrepreneurs. And by teaching entrepreneurship in schools, we'll give all kids access to these talents. Now, right now, the educational system works really well for kids that can sit in the classroom and be fed information and retain it and then regurgitate it back on a test. But the kids that can't do that, the kids that maybe have better street smarts than book smarts, those are the kids that get left behind. And while entrepreneurship education is great for all kids, it's those kids that get left behind where it can have the biggest impact. This is Gary Vaynerchuk, known as Gary V. Gary runs 6 different businesses. He is a influencer and mentor to entrepreneurs all around the world, multi-New York Times best-selling author, and he is not shy about sharing his report card from high school. Gary finished 243rd out of 254 students in his high school with a 1.67 GPA. He says that all his teachers gave up on him. They assumed he wasn't going to amount to much in life. But his mother built up his self-esteem because she realized that he had all these amazing skills and qualities, but he just wasn't able to apply himself in the classroom. Suzanne McKechnie-Clark started Build.org to reach those exact same kids. Build goes into some of the most under-resourced areas of our country, works with some of the most at-risk kids, and puts them through a high school entrepreneurship program with amazing results. Build was founded over in East Palo Alto, an under-resourced area here in Silicon Valley, where historically the high school graduation rate is around 60%. In 2022, the graduation rate in East Palo Alto of the kids that went through the Build.org program was 99%. So now I need you all to be entrepreneurial and help to start this movement to get entrepreneurship taught in schools. The first step is talk to your school. Students, parents, educators. Talk to your school about teaching entrepreneurship and tell them that not only will they be teaching kids a life skill, but they'll also be making them better students as well. Because kids that run businesses are going to be better speakers in English class. They're going to be better thinkers and problem solvers in math and science class. And they'll be better risk takers in sports and in the arts. But let's not leave this just up to the schools. Parents, encourage your kids to start a business. The best way to learn how to think like an entrepreneur is to start a business and be an entrepreneur. And the best businesses to start are going to be those things related to things that the kids already love to do. So if your kids love animals, they can start a dog walking business or a pet sitting business or bake pet treats. If they're into arts and crafts, they can sell jewelry, they can sell slime, they can start a more environmentally friendly soap and shampoo. If they love to cook or to bake, they can sell cookies or brownies. They can also start a business by solving a problem, just like Alina Morse did with her good-for-your-teeth lollipops. The next time your kid comes to you with a complaint about something, challenge them to start a business to solve the problem. And this way other people can benefit from that as well. And don't spend too much time thinking about what business to start. Just go out and start a business, because you're going to learn and you're going to fail and you're going to learn. And then when you do have that idea for that perfect business, you'll be that much further ahead of the curve. If you can't think of a business to start, I'm a huge fan of lemonade stands. Here's my favorite recipe: the juice of 6 lemons, 6 cups of water, 1 cup of sugar, mix it all up, instant business. Third step to start this movement is share your failures. Talk to your friends, talk to your families. We need to destigmatize failure and start to realize it as just a step on the road to success. Sarah Blakely, the billionaire founder of Spanx, said that when she was growing up, they'd sit around the dinner table and her father would quiz her and her siblings, and he'd ask them, "What did you fail at this week?" And if they failed at something, they'd get a high five. And if they hadn't, he would be disappointed. Entrepreneurship education changes lives. It doesn't matter if kids want to grow up to be an entrepreneur. Kids who learn how to think like entrepreneurs will be more successful in life regardless of the path that they choose. We had one girl in one of our after-school programs who was painfully shy, didn't say a word over the course of 10 weeks of classes. When it came time at the end of our program, we have a market for the girls to sell their goods. She showed up at the market and was too afraid to get out of the car, too shy, too scared. Well, we managed to coax her out of the car, and she set up her products and started selling. And by the end of the market, her mother came over to thank me and told me that her daughter asked her for permission to sell lemonade and brownies in front of their house that summer. Entrepreneurship changed that girl's life. Now is the opportunity to get entrepreneurship education into schools and support it at home, so we can give all kids a chance at that greater future. Thank you.